tell me to calm down. Say, Toby, slow down, slow down. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Calm down. Because of the way I'm breathing, I've been through some stress recently because we are moving home. And the stress of moving home, like you sorting out two apartments, clearing the old one, stocking the new one, you know what it means. And just still juggling it with other activities of the day, doing school run, shopping, working, making everything work intact, just everything to be the way it should be, making calls to make sure that whatever you need to move, like if you need to like change addresses, here and there, water bill, gas supply, what to get, internet, everything. You're also doing that because you don't want to leave anyone behind. You don't want to stay in the new house without some things being in place. That is what I've been doing. And this afternoon, I thought of something. I've said that on this channel, I'm going to be talking about health as well. Tips to good health. I'm not a practitioner. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a registered nurse yet. But I work in the hospital as an healthcare assistant. And I think with my exposure in the health sector, I've been in the health sector for some years now. I know some things about health. I can advise myself, if not you. So I'm going to be stingy if I'm not sharing some tips. And I want to start with our sugar level and blood pressure. That sugar level within is something very, very important that we can't joke with. We mustn't joke with it. I work in a ward that deals with that has a lot of patients with diabetic, kidney, whatever, all sorts of medical condition. And I think I want to talk about diabetic this afternoon. Diabetes this afternoon. I remember in 2016 when I was pregnant of my son, my second son, I was diagnosed with gestational diabetes. I've heard about diabetes when back home, but I didn't really know. I've heard about it, and I've got some loved ones that have really lost their lives through this sickness. It is a really, really serious illness that we really, really need to be aware of and guide our health jealously. When I mean jealously, I mean jealously. Because when you are diabetic, I've heard that they said, oh, there are some herbs that cure it. I don't know. There might be. I'm not doubting herbs, especially if you are from my own part of the world where I came from. Is the way I come from. I don't know. Correct my English. But I think we can also help ourselves by paying attention to some details in our lives, like exercise. I said it in one of my videos about how to spice up your relationship, how to spice up your marriage. I talked about doing exercises to keep fit, not just to keep fit. The exercise is not just to keep fit. It's about shedding weight and shedding or dropping some fats in the body that can store up glucose and make the sugar level to be high, and that which can get out of control. Because when you are diabetic, when you have any cuts, you have wound, any form of injury, it doesn't heal up quickly, especially as you are aging. When you are like in your teen 20s, it might be easier for a wound to get healed up quickly. But when you are diabetic and you are in your late 30s for upward, it doesn't heal quickly. When I was diagnosed with gestational diabetes, when I was pregnant with my second son, I didn't really take much note. I'm like, which one is gestational? Because when you are pregnant, you're always craving for a lot of things. It seems this house is echoing. It could be because it's almost empty right now. So because I could hear some sound and I know it's from the walls because the house is almost empty right now. So, and I'm like, when I was pregnant with my second son, the only food I want to eat and eat is not food, is cassava flake, Gary. I can drink Gary for Africa when I was pregnant of this son. Up till now, this boy loves Gary. If I'm drinking Gary, he wants to drink with it. My husband will say, don't give him. Why will you give? I say, he wants it. What do you want me to do? I'm like, could it be because I drank a lot of Gary when I was pregnant of this boy? I can drink Gary for the whole world when I was pregnant. So I had gestational diabetes and I was on insulin. I was on metformin just to lower. And because of that, I didn't give birth when I should give it. As in, I gave birth earlier through C-section. You know what that means? Because the baby was getting bigger than his size, and bigger than when the midwife measured, he said, oh, your tummy is bigger than the baby. I don't know, or that, you know, she's going to use use the tape rule to measure your tummy. If you're pregnant, you know what I'm talking about. I said, oh, your tummy is really bigger than the growing baby. So she referred me to the hospital and did some tests. Then I've been confirmed to have gestational diabetes, right? And when I go to the hospital, they say, oh, you have to come to the hospital. We need to do unplanned C-section. I'm like, although I've been told I was going to have C-section because I had my first child with C-section, but I wasn't gestational diabetes when I had my first child. And that was when I thought I was going to have it, because I could drink malt. That one was malt. My second child was Gary. So I was already drinking more, but I didn't have gestational. So maybe all those ones piled up. So when I got pregnant the second time, that just helps. It's escalated the whole thing. I wouldn't know. So I said it's not yet time, because I was due to give birth in December 2016. I was like planning it towards Christmas and all the things that we heard that doesn't really come. So I was like, no, I'm not giving birth now. This is still November. So I went back home. I was like, I ignored them because I was fine. Nothing was wrong with me, you know. But they were calling me and calling that, oh, you need to come to the hospital. You need to come. I'm like, I'm not coming. I'm not due yet. I'm not feeling anything. But like, oh yeah, because you have gestational diabetes, the baby is unsafe. It's getting bigger than the whatever, and you're in your safe weeks. It's 37 plus. Blah blah blah. I didn't answer them until one night they called them and they're like, you're gonna be on your own if you refuse to come. Like, hold on, wait a minute, Toby, give yourself some brain. This baby not supposed to be in this tummy forever anyway. So what's the problem? Are you going to deliver yourself even when you fall into labor right now? So I'm like, okay, I'm coming. So I went to the hospital and that was how I had the baby. And I was given medication for some time after delivery before I was okay, it's fine now. And I relaxed. So what am I talking about is that this gestational diabetes, or if it's now confirmed to be type 2 diabetes, is a very, very serious issue. Like I said, I work in the hospital where we've got patients with diabetes and we check their blood sugar 4 times in a day. Pre-breakfast, the night staff will do one like around 6. Then the morning staff will do one around the pre-lunch. So let's say pre-breakfast, pre-lunch, pre-dinner, and past dinner. You know, and we need to be monitoring it to know if their blood sugar is high. If it's high, we need to escalate that to the doctor, to the nurse, and we'll give them insulin. So like the nurses give them insulin to bring it down. And if it's too low, we're going to give them glucose to boost it, make them tea, toast, anything that has sugar, just to boost it up because it's too low. But when it's higher, it's difficult to control because they have to give them insulin. And when they give insulin, they have to wait for some time and check again to see if it's now normal. When I mean normal, I don't mean cleared for being diabetic, as normal within range, because if it's really, really high, I think it leads to death and like that, and if it's too low like that. So, and when they have wounds, it doesn't heal up. No matter the medication they give them, it can never get healed. We can only manage it by dressing it, cleaning it, and I'm like, this diabetic of a thing is a serious issue that we really, really need to be aware of and get our health by watching what we eat. Watch whatever you eat and engage in all form of exercises. I don't really do exercise, but I do a lot of walking, because when I take my children to school, we walk about like 19 minutes to the train station. It might not be good enough for the kids for them to walk that long. I'm like, if they want to play in the sun, in the rain, go to the park to walk, they can't be on their feet for hours. So I'm like, 19 minutes is not too much for them to do. It keeps them fit. So it helps me, because that is helping me to burn some calories and make my sugar. I just need to burn some sugar level, if you get what I mean. And I do that. That's why I was on. I used to wear size 16. I think I'm going to put a picture there. I was on size 16, but I'm back to size 12. Work in progress, because with my experience working in the hospital, I now realize that it is what needs to be really, really guarded serious and jealously. Some people have lost their sight because they are diabetic. Some have incurable wounds because they are diabetic. Some people's part of the body, legs, hands have been amputated because the diabetic has eaten deep into the body system, into the system, and they have to cut that part of the body off just to avoid it spreading to other parts of the body. We need to drink a lot of water. We need to water detoxify. We need to drink a lot of water. Water helps a lot. It helps our blood pressure. It helps to lower your blood pressure. When you drink water. Drink. Don't stop drinking. I go I go to work with a bottle of water, but I drink about, like, we've got fountain tap that we can get water, so I can drink like about 4 bottles of my water before I come back home. I'm like, oh, I like this job. For one thing, for exercise, because yes, the job, because the job is about standing, because you must know your feet, attending to patients, doing this, doing that. No time to sit down because you've got a lot to do. Yes, you might feel, it's stressful. It is helping you to keep fit, to burn some sugar. Because when you eat at times, we don't really rest. We don't really exercise. After eating, when you go to bed, nah, it's not good. Yeah, that's why you can't eat. You shouldn't eat anything heavy after 7 o'clock in the evening. It's not going to digest. And that builds up the sugar, because if you eat late at night, it's not going to break down anything. Then everything starts storing in every part of the body. That's why you start having protruding belly, especially for the men and ladies at times. Then you start having fat here and there, because we didn't burn any calorie. We need to do lots of exercises. After my second son, after I gave it to my second son, and I've been taken off all form of medication, and I was asked to manage my sugar level with diet. Just eat veg, water, fruits, veg, water, portion control, eat brown spaghetti, if you want to eat brown pasta, eat brown bread, everything, this, don't eat sweet potato, don't eat this one, don't eat this. If you don't have money, you can't keep that. And at times you are bored, like, am I going to be stuck with this forever? Take porridge, eat cereal, watch the kind of food to eat. There are some food that are so high in sugar, and we don't know. We are just buying it because, it's fruits. Like when you buy grapes, you don't know it's high. The sugar level, so the sugar content of grape is high. And also other fruits, banana, high. Just eat veg, broccoli, sweet, what's it called? Sweet corn. Eat plum,
They're okay. Then drink a lot of black tea, green tea. That's what I take every time. Most times, that's why if I tell you my age, you won't believe it. People don't believe when I tell them my age. They don't believe. Say, are you up to 30? I say 30. You think this girl is small girl? If I tell you my age, you will be surprised. But I don't look my age. I'm not there. Don't get me wrong. I just watch what I eat. You can't catch me eating after 7 o'clock. Whatever I eat, like around 4, 5, that's what I'm going to take to the next. Even if I'm hungry, I don't care. I'm now used to it that you won't see me eat late night food. You can't see me eat that. If I have a big belly, that means that period I really have eaten a lot of late night food and or a lot of food high in carbohydrates. That is when you will see me. And at times you see me cut down again because I'm like, hold on a minute, you did something bad. Then I'll go back to my green tea. I've got a lot of them in the house. Is it honey and lemon? Is it? I've got a lot of tea. If you go to Morinsen, you have them in stock. Morinsen, Lidl, Ideal, or Audi. They have them in stock. You know, please, we need to keep faith. You don't want to end up with, because there are some wounds that you think might have been healed, and when you are diagnosed with diabetes, it's gonna come. The wound is gonna open again. when I see a patient that's he or she's diabetic, and I could see the wounds, everything, I'm like, I feel sorry, because that illness has claimed a lot of lives. Even when it doesn't claim life, it has maimed a lot of lives. It has left them with what they didn't ever bargain for in their lives. Some have lost their sight in that process. Back to when 2017, when I've been weaned off medication, I'm now controlling my gestational diabetes with diet, because you're now clear of gestational diabetes, but we're going to place you on watch, just control with diet for now. And I was working as a domiciliary carer. That's why working in the domiciliary sector it helps me, it helps people, because there are a lot of benefits there. It's in my I had a video that talk about working in the healthcare sector and the benefits there. If you work in the domiciliary sector, it's about doing your service to service user in their homes. But you do a lot of walking if you're not driving, because you walk from one house to that. With that, you are burning calories. You are doing exercise if you don't know. Then my diabetic nurse said, oh, well done, Toby. You've lost a lot of this and that in all those terms. How did you do it? But I said, walking. I wasn't doing a rigorous exercise. I didn't have a committed time to exercise. But because I was working in the domiciliary sector then, and I do a lot of walking from house to house, to patient, to service user house, to this and that, I burnt a lot of calories. I dropped from size 16 to 12, and I've still maintained my size till now. You might not see much of me now because of my jacket, the weather. But it helped me. It helped me. Please, this afternoon when I was coming back after I had some exercise, I'm like, after when I do a lot of exercise, when I do a lot of running errands, I'm happy that, okay, yes, I'm stressed. Oh, I'm doing this. And I'm like, I'm also helping myself. I'm keeping fit by doing that. And I'm getting stronger and stronger. I think when I will do that, I think I'm going to break. I don't use any medication. I don't use paracetamol because I've stressed myself every day, because I'm fit. Because I'm like, oh, this exercise, this stress is also making me keep fit and be in shape. So I said, this afternoon I'm going to talk about that. Please, our health is wealth. Health is wealth. Eat right, sleep right, go to bed on time, sleep on time, so you can be refreshed for the next day. This video is long. I'm so sorry for that, but it's a very important discussion that I need to talk about. And I'm like, no, I need to let you know. Especially those that have just relocated abroad. UK is the best. We've got this and this. We've got these things that you can't even see in Africa. Not that they are not, they're expensive, and like just buy, eat, give your children this, you to eat. My dear sister and brother, please, portion control. Watch whatever you eat. It's just like you going to a party and there is a serve yourself section where you have to like dish this fried rice, put jollof rice, add plantain, add salad, add ayamashi, add this and that, add momoy, add giz dodo. Please, I just put in because you see it for free. I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry. Please, portion control. Watch what you eat. Watch what you eat. Do exercises. Drink a lot of water. And sleep when you're supposed to sleep. Okay, that will be all for now. Thank you so much for always tuning in to this channel. Thank you, all my new subscribers. I'll be back all the time to give you what you need in terms of content, entertainment, information, education. Okay, I remain to be about Wilson, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks and bye. Cheers.